Okay, and we're back with another session of Geek Night, where this time we'll be talking about Vandread. So give me a second. And we're back with another. Okay, so now, okay, Vandread, it's been out for quite some time because this is like one of my first few anime that I will watch. Okay, so how old is it? It's been more than 20 years. Okay, so Vandread is for me, uh, it is extreme. It's not that old until you can't watch it, but you do feel like it's outdated if, like, the resolution and stuff when you want to try and watch it now. But I still feel like I feel it's still worth watching today. Okay, because it's not that old until that it's unable. Okay. Oops. Okay, I pressed the wrong button. Okay. Okay, so let me set the settings for let me tell you the settings for Vandread. Okay. In the world of Vandread, men and women they live on different planets. Okay, so there's like these two planets are basically uh exclusively for men and for women. Okay, in other words, like they didn't go through it very deep because there's two seasons, okay, so total of 20 episodes total, and that they didn't go, it is, I don't feel like it's a bit rushed, but it's not to the point that it's super rushed, but since you have two seasons, it's quite bearable. Okay, so in this get back to the to the fact that both these planets they are exclusively for men and women. Okay, and the reason why they can do that is because the technology had advanced so much that it is possible for them to colonize the planet. It's not that later on they did say that they all of them they originate from Earth, okay, but Earth has suffered a lot of stuff, so that's why they have to colonize other planets, okay, and since they have the technology to do it, okay, and it seems that one of the pioneer ships or the colonizing ship, they basically the man and woman got into a fight, and they basically separate into man and woman, okay, so uh and when you think about that, is how can two planets that is exclusively man and woman, can continue living because how are they going to reproduce? Okay, okay. So the thing is that, like I say, the technology is well more advanced. Okay, so they have cloning and IVF. IVF is basically in vitro fertilization. Basically, it's the same thing as the uh as the sperm bank. Okay, you take the sperm, you put it in the woman. That's IVF. Okay, so where okay, for the woman they will use the IVF, and for the men they will just clone. Okay, maybe they I kind of forget whether they modify the genes a little bit. Okay, but nonetheless, okay, they clone and they for the men and they use IVF for the woman. So in a sense that the population still grows. Okay, and okay, that is why um it's even though after some time, okay, because do at this part, okay, it's already been like in the story it's been like close to almost 100 years, 70, 80. Okay, it's over a half century since that happens. Okay, and I wouldn't say that they are flourishing, but at least they are doing better. Okay, so I'm from like their population is still growing, they still have a society. Okay, so that's why um you know the society moves on. And other than that, okay, I didn't write here. Okay, since the technology is working so well, they do have they do have like they do put in effort into war. So because like I say, the reason why men and women split into the two planets because they had a fight. So in a sense, they are having a war between men and women. Okay, and they have robots and stuff. Okay, so next, okay, we're gonna talk about the protagonist. Okay, because most of this we're gonna the story is going to be told either from his perspective or like in a sense that they focus on the main protagonist. Okay, so the main protagonist is Hibiki Tokai. Okay, he is a low class worker in the assembly line. So like I said just now, is that they do put in some efforts in going to war, okay, with robots and stuff. So he's just one of those workers. Okay, and in the society there is like a caste system in a sense, okay? And he's basically at the bottom of it, okay? And you know, if I'm not wrong, he's a third class, okay? So I assume that third class is basically like the menial workers, okay? And the second class would probably be like the soldiers because um Hibiki he wants to be the soldier, okay, like not like in a sense like fighting with guns and stuff. It's like going into these mechs and piloting them and fight, okay. So in that sense, but the thing is that when that happened, the people around are saying like, oh, he's got to be joking, okay. So that is Hibiki. So there is a class system. I want to stress on it, okay? And then like after a few turn on events here, like I don't get too much into it. Like, if you, okay, I'll just give it a very simple go through. He wants to be the soldier who pilots the mechs. Okay, so he decided to steal one, and when he tried to steal it, okay, the ship that he was on was basically raided by the female space pirates. Okay, and whether he like it or not, that he has to join them because the ship actually went a bit of berserk for a moment, and the ship went to an overdrive and basically jumped out into another place. Okay, another warp into another part of space. Okay, and they are stuck. Whether they like it or not. Okay, Hibiki he is stuck with the female space pirates. Okay, and in the space pirates. Okay, they are basically all the space pirate, the female space pirate, they raided the ship. Okay, so there's more females on the ship, but and in contrast, there's only two males. Okay, other than Hibiki. Okay, so one is a doctor, one is like the soldier I was talking about. But the soldier guy, he's a coward. Okay, so in a sense that the only guy who he's the only mecha pilot, yeah, on the ship on the male side. And like I said just now, that the ship went berserk, okay? And something had happened on the for the mechas that were on the ship at the time. So it seemed like they got fused into something, and then like the mechas that were on the ship, okay, his mecha, was kind of like injured a bit along with three others. Okay, we're gonna talk about that later. Okay, on the female side, and they did have this special power to merge and become a new like combining. You can imagine something like Power Ranger style. Okay, so yeah, that is about the protagonist. Okay, and he is the center of the story. Okay, and we're going to go to the next slide. And okay, so just now I talked about the partners. Okay, so there are three partners that the mechas were on board at the time where the ship went berserk. Okay, so Hibiki is one. Okay, and the first girl on next to him is Tita. Okay, and she is a UFO maniac. Okay, in other words, she is she wants to meet aliens, and since she thinks males are aliens, which in a sense it does make sense for you know when we think about aliens, we think that life form that we don't know. And of course, it's not like the idea of man itself is a foreign concept to them. It's because they do know the existence of males because they're in a war between them. But she like I said, the planet is filled with women. Okay, Um, so he had like, it's not saying that it's rare. It is practically impossible to find males unless they are like some kind of like, maybe prisoner of war, diplomats. Okay, so you can imagine that, for a commoner like Dita, she will never come across to, to a male. So in a sense that if she thinks that they are aliens, she's not totally wrong. Okay, because the society works in a sense fine as it is, because they can increase their population, they can, you know they have their own society, in other words, like culture and stuff going on. So in that sense, she's not totally wrong to say that Hibiki, or the males are aliens. Okay, so and then the next person next to her is Maya. Maya is the stoic commander of of all the fighters. Okay, fighters means like, those who are on the map, uh, the space pirate. Okay, and she's she, she's stoic because, she does have trauma. Okay, but she's practically a cool person, and she did open up a bit to Hibiki. Okay, throughout the anime, but not to a point that she's willing to let her guard down completely. Okay, and the last person that we have as partner is Jura. Jura is basically the promiscuous crew member, is also the fighter. Okay, and she's, okay, this one I have to go back to a little bit about the society in Vandread. Is that, like I said, um is that, both planets, there are only males on them and females on them. Okay, but it's not like sense of, having a family is only out of it's not like families are a foreign concept to both planets, because, okay, they did talk about, males, they want to start a family and they're going to adopt children. Okay, and for the females, then like, who's going to be, when they become a couple, who is going to carry the child and stuff. So that, in a sense, there is the concept of dating is still there, just that it's in between the same sex. Okay, so I do enjoy the fact that, even though she had never met a male before, she does instinctively know, like, okay, I need to do this to catch his attention. So in a sense, that Jura is like the one of the closest person to like, a regular girl in the in this batch. Okay, because there is another girl who was raised in a normal environment when they are males and females together. Okay, so other than her, she's the most closest to a regular girl. Okay, now the reason why I need to tell you this is because, um what I mentioned up here is that, with that said, both genders on the ship are going through a pseudo puberty stage. Okay, so why I have to mention this is because, they are like a bit like Dita. Okay, that they think that the female space pirates, they are like Dita because, like I said, they never seen a male before, or at least, not up close. Okay, they are first thinking of them as some kind of, um like like an orc, like something that is, they are just brute, they are bronze, no brains. Okay, so they do look down on them. Okay, but after some time, the female, the space pirate crews, they kind of like warm up to them, but they are still, have their guards up, because they they are still foreign to them. Okay, so in that sense, like, oh, this guy, he's helping me. Okay, so like, like, he protects us. Okay, like, for example, like the doctor is basically can be considered as a handsome person in the world of Vandread, okay? And you can see that, you know, their hormones worked up and like seeing somebody who is attractive and he takes care of you in a sense that, you know, he treats, you know, his patients. So there is some chemistry starting to work. Okay, remember, um, most of them are on their third generation. Okay, so if the first generation they can still understand that this feeling is like, you know, possible love interest. The second generation will be like, since the parents will be used to males, okay, they are incorporated with it, okay, you know, try to pass on like, okay, a girl should do this, okay, a boy should do this. But for the third generation, they basically, the concept is a bit too foreign to them. Okay, so for the whole member of the ship, okay, for the whole member of the ship, okay, they kind of like get a bit um the whole map the whole crew member of the ship, they don't know how to react, okay, and this is all new to them, okay. So basically, okay, um if this will be a kind of like a amazing case study if you're going to make one, then what would happen if somebody live with only with their with the same sex for over 20-30 years, okay. So, you know, how are they going to react, okay, when they first met somebody on the opposite sex for the first time? So that is why the opposite gender, that's why I feel like um watching this, it's kind of like a bit fun because most of them they are, you know, in their late teens, close to 20 or early 20s, okay, within that range, okay. So you can see that even though that their mind is not fully developed, but they are they are given this stimulus where, you know, the opposite the idea of the opposite gender exists. So you can see that there's a couple of, you know, a couple of scenes where they have males and females are fighting, okay, and of course the females have the upper hand because there's only three males on the ship, and they are kind of like on a revolt, okay. But still, okay, there are some people who like trying to, you know, cross the barriers of, you know, the gender barriers, okay, like saying, hey, he's a guy, he's a girl, okay, we both can get through this, okay. So that's, you know, that's kind of like a bit of refreshing, okay, because, you know, like I say, tackling the question that what would happen if somebody who never met, you know, the opposite gender after some time, okay. Okay, now we're going back to partners a bit, okay. Among all, okay, like I said, Data, she's a UFO maniac. Maya is a stoic commander, and Jura is a promiscuous crew member, okay. So among all three of them, the only person who really, you know, like in a sense cares about Hibiki as a person is probably Dita. Because why? Because Dita, she um why I say that is because Dita, she the problem is that she thinks males are aliens, okay? And she's obsessed with, you know, aliens. But when she first met Hibiki, she's think that, okay, this guy's an alien. But after going through some time with with him, you know, instead of thinking that, oh, this guy is an alien, something that I don't know, and it slowly turns to like, hey, I kind of enjoy being with this guy. Hey, I like this guy. Hey, I, you know, what is this feeling when I'm with him? Okay, so she's dealing with the emotions. Like I said, you know, she already went through puberty because she, you know, I assume that she's in her late teens or, you know, in her early 20s. So she gone through puberty. Now she's going through another puberty. Like, hey, can I fall in? The question is not like, can I fall in love with this person? Like, what is this feeling that comes up first? Okay, because she was raised in a family that in a society that is all female. Okay, and she don't know that there is a possibility that males and females can be together. Okay, and that you can see that when you watch the anime, you can see that this constant battle against the concept of uh, um, the concept of being uh, being a male and female relationship always came into question. Okay, uh, so that's why it's quite fun to see it. Okay, and for the for for this, okay, the oldest member of the space pirates is an old grandma. Okay, she's the first generation. She's the generation that's like on the colony ship, where they're still male and female, but then they broke off and going onto their separate planets. Okay, so when she does look at them like small children, in a sense they are like children, because you know um that that they don't know what is love and stuff. Okay, and even though they didn't mention it, but you can get a sense that she does see that Ita and Hibiki is like kind of like the future of like a bridge to both of these planets. Okay, now that's what I feel that the old grandma is going to do. Okay, now now it's basically to wrap it up, because there's so many things to talk about. There's so many different aspects of it. Okay, so I just can't like it. There's so many aspects, but then they didn't go too much into it, so I can't just make a statement about it. So I'm going to you know blast them all off here. Okay, so Vandread, okay, like I say, that both male and female live on different planets. Okay, but on their journey they do meet either planets or society or colonies that both males and females live together. Okay, and every single time that they visited, they stopped at this place, their their concept of all female family, all male family, they are slowly being chipped apart, and um and they are more, how should I say, they are more used to being uh that concept being challenged, and the possibilities start to arise. Okay, so in the beginning they will think, oh, it's impossible for male and female to be together, but later on, okay, throughout when the second season comes, you can see that that possibility is starting to become like, um at first was never, now he's like maybe, but the thing is, who is going to be with who? Okay, and although we focus a lot on Hibiki, okay, the main protagonist here, okay, and but the one that actually make uh that I wouldn't say it's a secret, but it's off screen, is that the mechanic here and the doctor has are basically hitting it off, but the thing is that they don't take it as a romantic relationship, okay, at first, but they both respect each other, because they as professionals, because in male society, in female society, okay, there is such a thing as a mechanic, there is such a thing as a doctor. Okay, so when they both see how they work, okay, we can see that both of them, like, okay, he respects her for being a hardworking person who's doing her best, and she, okay, although that some people some of the girls may feel reluctant to be treated by him, but she's like, I need this to get done, and I trust this guy, okay, because he said that he is a doctor, and she did, okay. So and then slowly, whenever we have a scene in between those two, we like they didn't talk directly, but you can feel like the love interest grows, okay. Even if it's not love interest, in like the level of respect that could be considered intimate, okay. like for example, a colleague, okay, between, okay, a colleague at work and stuff, okay. So I was I won't say that I was surprised that they are not together by the end, but for me, it's like if the anime continues on further, they would without a doubt be together. Okay, and spoiler warning: Hibiki gets with Rita. Okay, mm. So the another thing I want to talk about is that even though it's not here, there's another guy that is the soldier. Okay, the soldier actually become the pilot of the ship. Okay, because the they didn't go through the theory that a female could pilot the ship, but so he was assumed to be the only one that can control it. So when he became the pilot for the ship, okay, he experienced a lot of things, okay, and without that, the turning point for him is when he met the girl on this planet, okay, that that needs help because the planet was so polluted, okay. Because it's not saying it's polluted, it's that they haven't terraformed the planet properly, okay. So the planet was not suitable for humans to live on, okay. But since maybe their colony ship broke down, and that planet is the most closest, okay, and he's basically got close to a little girl, okay, who's sick, okay, and she's the only person that took him seriously, because all of him know that, oh, he's just bluffing, he's just joking, he's just trying to show off, those kind of feeling. And since that little girl, she was bedridden, she couldn't move out of the hospital, and at the end, another spoiler warning, she died when he's fighting, okay. So when that happened, okay, he was like, he forget all about, all the blaster, all the trying to show off, okay, and he basically, become a step closer into being an adult, where he's taking things more, take responsibility, and try to man up to his mistakes, okay. And that's quite a touching scene when I remember it, okay. And of course, there's also another part where this this lady here she was pregnant in the anime, because before the whole thing happened, when they got sent off, warped to a different place that they don't know, she was actually, she didn't tell anybody, but she had the IVF, okay. And slowly on the ship, where both were, kind of like the pioneer for male and female to be together, okay. And of course, without that, I don't want to say father, okay. uh the other part of the DNA of the child is a female, okay. So when the guys, okay, heard the concept of, oh, there's a baby growing here, what they were like, it's such a foreign concept that the doctor actually called it, oh, that there's a parasite in your body, okay. And it's quite fun, okay. But slowly, even the guys, they kind of warm up to it, and then, like, some of them even wondering, like, hey, is it possible to do that? okay, is it possible to is it possible for a male and female to be together? And then later, if I'm not wrong, okay, uh that people say that is the normal thing. Okay, whether it was the grandma or was it the another person on the second season, okay, the girl from the second season. If you watch it, you kind of know who it is. Okay, now that's all about the minor stuff, the minor scenes that could not individually put. Okay, now my my thoughts on the anime is that this anime, if it's released, this kind of anime, this kind of concept will not be released in this day and age. Why do I say that? Is because even though we try to uh okay, the anime, they didn't explicitly point out, okay, that they didn't explicitly point out, but we can guess it. They are gays and lesbians. Okay, basically um uh the whole society is about. Okay, they didn't focus it, but you know if you just scratch a little bit of that, you can see that sexual orientation and uh sexual orientation and gender came into play. Okay, so that's why I say that if this was aired right now, I can guarantee there's going to be a lot of backlash. Okay, forget about the um the overseas or the Western audience. Okay, even in Japan, it'll be quite fast because when the anime is released, they kind of like um play it off as a space opera with men and women, with men and women living on different planets. It's like the idea is so absurd, okay, that people are like, yeah, it's all about robots fighting. Okay, so okay, just with a weird concept to it. But if today day and age that if it's released, okay, without even the parents in the especially the parents, it would be like, why are they trying to why are they going why is this anime excuse me why is this anime trying to instill LGBTQ into minds of children? Okay, because they think it's a mecha, it's an anime, it appeals to children. Okay, and when that happens, I can guarantee that there's going to be a huge backlash. Okay, so without a doubt, in a sense that this anime will not be released today, but in a sense, but another thing that I want to say is that they focus on the wrong thing instead of because if they went through it, they'll understand, like I say, the biggest question that uh that is underlining in this anime is that is it possible for males and females to be apart for so long? Okay, so that's what I feel that the biggest question. Okay, but if in this day and age, okay, that if this anime is released, they think like this anime is trying to tackle the question that, hey, males and females can live in a different planet, okay, okay, and they can still survive. And like those people started thinking like, when if they pose this question, it's going to like corrupt the children, which I feel like it totally misses the point. Okay, because at the end, okay, if you don't know, the final scene is quite touching. Is that they say that, okay, the male and females are going to be apart, okay, but then they're like trying to create a program uh where both the guys and girls can be together, like a pilot program for both of the planets to work together, and the ship will be acting as the model. Okay, and but the males, they have to go back to the planet and choose the candidates, and most likely they will not be able to see each other anymore. Okay, and when that happened, okay, like I say, Vita, who's going through, puberty, trying to sort out her emotions, okay, at the end knows that, she loves him, okay, and she finally is able to say that, okay, and you know when she did that, okay, um, even though it's crazy, Hibiki actually bring her on board the ship, going to the male planet. Okay, so it's not saying that, uh female the world is fine with just be females being a society full of females, a society full of males. Okay, but in a sense that, like, both males and females support each other. That's what I felt uh is the underlying theme together. Okay, because there are hardships. Okay, there are hardships throughout the journey. Okay, in the anime. Okay, but when at the end of it, they are able to set aside their differences. Okay, and respect and, appreciate both the people that work together in the ship. Okay, in a sense that that ship could be a metaphor for the society itself. Okay, and yeah, that is, my biggest take on Vandread. Okay, that um it's quite, analyzing these things is quite surprising, but it's quite fun. Okay, uh I think that I might annoy people with this, but that's what I feel about Vandread. Okay, so yeah, that's about Vandread. And next week, I'm not sure what I'm going to do next week. Okay, now give me a second where I'll take a look at my, anime library. Okay, maybe I can choose one that is that I'm interested in. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I found something that I think that I should talk about. Okay. I want to talk about next week. I feel like I want to talk about Anohi Mita Ana no Namae Boku Tachi wa Mada Shiranai. Okay. It's basically it's basically touching uh one of the most tear-jerking animes that I have ever watched. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. Okay, あの日見た僕たちはまだ知らない。あの日見た花の名前を僕たちはまだ知らない。So I'm gonna do that. Okay, for next week. And this is my schedule for this week. So I changed a little bit. Okay, so like Tuesday will be the start um because in a sense Tuesday is like where I have, like, discussion time, like I'm not focusing anything else except on the talking topic. So I do feel like, that should be the first day. So today, okay, 23rd, we are talking about Geek Night Vandread. Okay, and tomorrow I'm gonna play Troubleshooters. Okay, because like I said, I really want to show you how I want to show you the story, but I do want to show you in late game troubleshooter how fun it is. Okay, so that. Okay, and Saturday, Sunday, although I did mention that I want to play Unionism Quartet, the thing is, it's not my game character is not detecting it. Okay, no matter what I do, no matter how much I tried, could not get it to detect. So I tried to take a look, and it seems that Amakano is the next best thing that I can do. Okay, so I'm gonna do Amakano next on the weekend, but this is all subject to change because like I said, I want to renovate my room a little bit, but there might be some trouble. Okay, like right now is that it's not saying that uh I want to renovate my room, but the thing is that, my there's a lot of stuff in my sister's room, so I need to let them clear it off. So I may or may not be able to stream it this weekend. Okay, in other words, like maybe a couple of days I'll take the day off. Okay, because to renovate. Okay, because I'll stream it in my room. Okay, I don't want to stream it in. I don't want to stream it in the living room. Okay, because you know disturbance and everything. So I'll prefer to do it in my room. If that's the case, then I'll take day off until my room is fully renovated. Okay, so we can say that it's tentatively like this. Okay. Mm. Okay. Next. Okay. So if you like Geek Night, okay, if you like what I'm doing, you can subscribe to the channel. You can like and share the video, comment on the videos. Okay. If you have the time, join me live. Okay. If you like what I'm doing, you can watch my other streams as well. Okay, where on weekends I'll have novel night where I'll translate a visual novel as I go along. Okay, and if you think that I have anything I can improve on, you can comment down below. Okay, so that's it for today. Okay. So I hope that you enjoy it. Okay, so next week we're going to do I need to look at the name again. Ano himita hana no namae wa boku tachi wa watashi shiranai. Okay, we're going to discuss that. Okay. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else to say. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow where I'll be playing Trouble